2:14 past. I'm Common. He is Tennessee. Hour number 3 of the program. We talked about the Twins a little bit earlier. They play again tonight. Ohtani will be on the hill, towing the rubber, as the kids used to say back in the old days. And then on the bump for the Twins will be Joe Ryan. And Ryan now is the ace of this staff. And that basically occurred after Pablo Lopez, it was announced that he had to go, I think it was Tommy John surgery, right? He blew out his elbow. He blew his mind out in a car. He had noticed that the lights had changed. And so he became the de facto ace of that staff. As a matter of fact, there was a time where Joe Ryan would probably have been the third best on that staff. Do you remember a picture of the name Sonny Gray, Tennessee?
I do.
We didn't need him. Why would we need a guy that can pitch that well? If you'll remember, he wanted, that was after our playoff year, after we finally made the playoffs and we finally broke that streak of 0 for 18. And Sonny Gray was instrumental with that club, and then he wanted to get paid. He was like, I could use maybe $25 million a year for 3 years. And we decided that was too rich for our blood. And that's kind of the going rate. I mean, that's actually kind of cheap. That's a discounted pitcher price. And I noticed this story, Dateline Denver says, Sonny Gray has often joked, I can spin the ball on the moon. And Tuesday night, he pretty much proved it, giving a master class in pitching at altitude at Coors Field, a lunar launching pad for happy hitters in a place most pitchers don't mind missing. Here's what Gray said. This place, if you give it an inch in your mental space, then it can start to take over. Once you start making excuses, then it wears on you and you lose your confidence. I'm tricking my mind into believing that I can do anything. I like guys like that, man. He's a pitcher's pitcher. By the way, that's his second dominating pitching performance from the Red Sox in as many starts. Gray last night pitched 7 innings, allowed just 1 run on 6 hits, 3 walks while striking out a season-high 11, matching a season high of 93 pitches. His biggest adjustment came after issuing a walk to the first batter he faced. He said, I just flipped my mindset, said some things to myself that I needed to hear in that moment and felt more normal, back to myself. This team is super aggressive, but we filled up the zone early and we put the ball in some really good spots. We were able to take advantage of the aggressiveness. His only blemish was a 435-foot homer to right in the second inning from Willie Castro. Manager Chad Tracy said Gray was exceptional. He's had a lot of good outings since we've been here, and that one ranked up there with 11 strikeouts. People talk about the altitude, but he was able to spin the ball, got a lot of swing and misses on breaking balls below and changeups. He was just really, really good. And that made me think, I wonder what Sonny Gray has done this year. So you just do this is the magic of your handheld computer, which doubles as a communication device. Well, Tennessee, here in the 2026 season, he's 9-1.
That's pretty good.
With an ERA of 2.95.
Pretty good.
66 strikeouts. His whip is 1.19. Is that good?
Sounds like Sonny and a Sizzling.
Yeah, but we didn't need him. Why would we want a pitcher like that? And I know the comeback to that, and I'm waiting for it from people. Yeah, well, he didn't pitch that well when he left here right away. Well, yeah, but you don't know that when he left. He went to St. Louis, I think, and, I didn't track every one of his starts. Sometimes there's extenuating circumstance. Sometimes you don't get any run support. Sometimes you're facing another pitcher on the other side of the field in the other dugout. Like tonight, Joe Ryan could be brilliant and lose 1-0, 2-1, because the guy on the other side of in the other dugout is also pitching.
Well, and how good your defense plays, right? I mean, your defense, if you only have to get 3 outs as opposed to 4 outs in an inning, that makes a big difference.
Wait, hold on. Where's the there?
Brilliant.
And you're right. You're absolutely right. When your defense plays well behind you, that makes a big difference. And so, and that's where, with the Twins, we haven't talked a lot about the Twins. I think we touch on it maybe once a week, just because there's not, there have been moments. Again, we mentioned this morning. Can you dial up the standings? I believe unless who was ever in first place, which is are the White Sox in first place or is it the Guardians? Don't tell me the White Sox are in first place.
White Sox are in first place.
Think about that.
They're a game ahead of Cleveland.
Okay.
But technically 2 in the loss column.
Okay. And how far back are our Twins?
Twins are 4.5 games back Chicago. We're 2 games back of the wild card spot.
So, and we have a sub-500 record, I believe.
We're 5 games under 500.
Yeah, 5 games under 500. So, standings, where you sit in the wild card can be very deceiving. I mean, the numbers are the numbers, and where you are in the standings is where you are in the standings. So it's like, well, hey, despite the fact that we're really a below 500 team, we're just one really good winning streak away from being right back in the thick of things. And so that's what you hope for with this club. And that's what's more maddening or annoying about the way the organization has been running for really almost the entire time they've been here, but I think more so after Carl and Eloise passed away and Rob, Chip, and Ernie took over, and then Joe and now Tom. Just goes from one generation to the next. They've just had a different way of running a baseball. We've talked about they seem to run it more like a business, which it is, and you have every right to do that, and you don't want to just throw good money after bad. And it is a bit more difficult. It's more difficult in a non-salary cap league, which I think it's the only one of the major men's for, but it's also easier, too, because if you have the wherewithal, which they do, you could just say, you know what, next couple of years, we're going to invest in this club. We think we got to You think back to 2010, that was a really good baseball team the Twins had. You had Mauer, Morneau.
Was Hunter still on that team?
Torrey Hunter.
Kadire.
Yeah, Hunter was kind of in the twilight, but he was still a very productive player. The pitching staff, wasn't it Liriano? And did we still have Johan then, or was he gone by then?
I'm not sure on that.
I'm going to look up that 2010 Twins roster. 2010 Twins roster. Let's see what they had on that roster. Oh, they won't give me the roster. Oh, here they had.
Delman Young, Jason Kubel, Jim Tomei. It doesn't look like Hunter was on that team. He had to have been gone by then.
Baker, Blackburn,
Slowey, Liriano.
Matt Kapsoff, another loss. Kadire. Okay, maybe they weren't as good as I thought. I thought they were really
Pavano was their best pitcher.
Plouffe, Nicky Punto.
Okay. See, I know I've said it many times on the show, but the 2006 Twins, to me, was one of the best Twins teams I've ever seen.
Yep.
That was when Santana was Cy Young, and that was like kind of the first year of Francisco Liriano. He was dealing.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately he got hurt, but they had Radke on that team.
Yep.
And they opted to do nothing at the trade deadline. And then Liriano gets hurt, and I think that's when they had to go with like Boof Bonzer in the postseason instead of having like another good starter we could have depended on.
And that was also the infamous quote from Santana where he said, this team always seems to be playing for the future, running the team for the future. He goes, maybe that'll be some of us won't be a part of that. In other words, he was basically saying, I want out of this place. And the thing about Liriano, Teneby, if he's got it, you're in good shape. If he doesn't, get the women and children out of the first 5 rows. We'll take a break, but this is the one break of the day that I think a lot of people enjoy. Well, they get a break from me after 2 hours if they've been in the stomach.
Break.
Yeah, hydration break. But it's where we try to put $2,500 in your pocket.
Yeah, the fan has your chance to win $2,500. All you got to do is enter the keyword travel at KFAN.com now. That keyword is travel. Enter now at KFAN.com.
The Common Man.
13:14 past, Common Man program. I'm Common East Tennessee. Big weekend, Tennessee. The LPGA's KPMG PGA Championship is taking place at Hazeltine National Golf Course, one of the 5 majors on the women's tour. Mentioned earlier that Nelly Korda is attempting to win Nelly, her 3rd consecutive major. So that's one big event that's taking place this week, and there are others. Are you aware of Exotica?
I mean, I can imagine what it is, but I am not aware of it.
Exotica with 3 X's.
Oh, okay.
Friday night, ladies get in free.
Yeah, baby.
What more can you ask for? You can see some of your favorite movie stars and others at Exotica. And I don't remember exactly where Exotica is taking place.
What time will that be? Where's the name of the place again?
What's the name of the place? I don't know. It might be at the Lamplighter. Here's what I think I'm opting for. Tattoo Fest Twin Cities returns to St. Paul River Center this weekend, featuring over 300 world-renowned tattoo artists and vendors from local to international. Van Gogh, Monet, and many others will be there. I wonder if there are any tattoo artists that they're like the Monet of tattoo artists. You just go, because everybody knows the name Monet, right? Everybody knows Van Gogh. Everybody knows Monet. Everybody knows Van Gogh. What are some of the others I'm missing, Timmy? Some of the famous artists. Everybody knows Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci. Tattoo Fest Twin Cities, Minnesota's premier tattooing event. I didn't know there was more than one. This is the premier tattooing event. Returns to St. Paul River Center the 24th and 26th. It's a family-friendly festival. Have the kids tattooed as long as you're there. Kids 5 years of age and younger free. The family-friendly festival will host over 300 tattoo artists exhibiting their work and competing in contests with 20 categories. Nationally and internationally recognized artists will be set up for the public to browse and collect tattoos. Collect tattoos? I guess you collect them. No return either. I mean, if you're not sad, I don't know what they do if you're not satisfied. Reality tattoo stars from your favorite reality
tattoo stars?
That's what I'm telling you. Reality tattoo stars from your favorite tattoo reality television shows. I know there's a lot of reality shows out there that aren't real. That's what's crazy. It's one of those, is that called an oxymoron, or what, is that the word where reality shows aren't reality? Because that's not reality. People know the cameras are running. They're acting.
Yeah.
Most of them are bad actors and actresses, but they're acting. They're not reality. Reality stars from your favorite tattoo reality television shows will be on hand tattooing and can be seen working their craft live. Yes, you too can watch somebody tattoo somebody else live and in living color.
Boy.
If they choose color, they might do black and white. Artists have already started booking in advance, but plenty of others will be accepting walk-up tattoos, like going through the drive-thru. You'll just be sitting there. Yeah, can I take your order, please? Yeah, I was hoping to have a hula girl with a skirt, and can you make her wiggle her hips? Absolutely, we can.
I always love that one.
To find your perfect artist, visit TwinCitiesTattooFestival.com/artists attending artists. Well, you've piqued my curiosity. What do we have here? I can just click, by the way. Attending artist. Oh, my gosh. They're alphabetically listed. A.B., Abigail Yiltalo, Adam Aguas, Adam Moonen, Adam Peterson, Adriana Zerazao, Akai Little Owl, Alberto Martinez, Alexandra Fish, Alex Hall, Allison Youngs, Amanda Bob-Eyes, Andrew Kemp, and the list just goes on and on and on. Chuck Day, Chuck Ton, Chuck this, Chuck that, Cody Tweedy, Daryl Darko, Then I like the one-named ones. They're just sort of like, Madonna, Pink, Lizzie. Beyonce. Adele. Demo tattoo. It's like you buy the demo car off the lot. It's cheaper that way. Endo Ink. How about that? That's a clever name because, that's what you're calling. I'm going to get inked this weekend. Father Tats.
Huh?
Yeah, he's Father Tats. He is the father. He's the kingfish of tattoos.
Tat Daddy.
He's Tat. I like that better. I wonder if there is a Tat Daddy. Let me see. Let me scroll down and see if there's a Tat Daddy.
Otherwise, I'm going to purchase that website as we speak.
There's no
TatDaddy.com.
There's no Tat Daddy. You're him. Do it now. How about this one? I don't think I'd want to get a tattoo from Scribbles. I'd kind of like to know what is that? I can't really tell. Well, then that makes it all the more special. It can be whatever, man, it can be whatever you want it to be. You can pretend it's the 10 of Fitzgerald. There's another one named just Tuesday. How about Yeti? I wonder if he specializes in Bigfoot tattoos. I only do Bigfoot. And then Tuesday, I only work on Tuesdays. That's a hell of a list of Smiley. Tattoo Cuit, or C-U-I-T. How do you say that? Do you know?
Spell that again.
C-U-I-T.
Yeah, Cuit.
Push, rail. Oh, how about this? Rat tattoos, which is the tattoo I always wanted, a vomiting rat. If I were to get one, I would want to, and I'd want it tattooed on my forehead. Vomiting rats. The event will be hosting the worst tattoo competition. Is that worth getting the worst tattoo possible as you can? I wonder what you win if you have the worst. It's who sponsors it tend to be? Removery, the world's largest tattoo removal company. In other words, that tattoo is so bad you need to get it removed.
I think we had a guy in high school that could have won that worst tattoo. Well, we had a guy in high school that got a tattoo on his thigh of him and his buddy, like they were flicking off the camera.
Oh.
And it's kind of like, well, your buddy is on your leg now. What are the odds that you guys are going to be best buds the rest of your life?
A free-to-enter competition, the worst tattoo competition, attendees can show off bad or regrettable tattoos they have, with the winner receiving a free removal package from Removery, which has over 150 locations in the United States. There are 3 of them in the Twin Cities, Tennessee, conveniently located. Canada and Australia. The event will also feature vendors ranging from oddities to clothing and makers of all kinds. What kind of oddities would those be?
Lava lamps.
Yeah, that would be an oddity. I'd like to have a lava lamp tattooed on my... You know what I'd really get? I'd like to have 3 ants crawling up my leg.
Oh, I like that one. Like the ants are marching.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Hope to see you there.
I can't believe this is all going to fill up the River Center.
Yeah, but then you also have Exotica.
Exotica. This weekend, St. Paul.
Exotica. See your favorite actresses at Exotica. Clothing optional. And then you got I would think the more family-friendly KPMG LPGA PGA Championship. We'll take a break, come back, one more segment to go here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
The Common Man.
That's enough. Put down the mic. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working.
Weekdays at noon on The Fan.
Metallica and Exotica on the same stage. That sounds like a heck of a concert. I might want to go there with some friends. I've always been enthralled and amazed at people that can invent things. I used to always think the greatest invention was fire, But fire really wasn't an invention, right? It was more of a discovery, right?
Yeah.
Og and Grog rubbed a couple of sticks together, boom, a spark, and the next thing you know, they're making Bronto burgers. You know, medium rare. You know that. How long has this been a thing? I've just known about it for about a year now. When they ask you, and how would you like that done? And if you're supposed to be considered a steak connoisseur, I'd like that rare, or at worst medium rare, or maybe at best medium rare. I ain't a medium rare guy. I'm not a rare guy either. I'm a medium guy, but it seems like most steakhouses you go to, medium's the toughest one for Chef Guy to get right. Because generally it's still too red. And I think that's because for him it's disgusting to order it. How dare you insult me? I make my steaks rare. I make them medium rare. If you want a medium...
What's on the other side of medium, by the way?
Well, that's where I'm getting.
Because I've never gone that far.
Well, you go medium well. Or the new thing is, and I don't know if this is, like I say, I've only known about it for about a year, maybe a year and a half, or a year plus, which is what I'm getting to. You can order it medium plus. That means you want it pink, but you don't want it so it's your whole plate, it soaks into the... You know how you dislike pickle juice?
Yes.
On your hamburger bun? I dislike all the medium rare... It's not blood, is it? What is it that's leaking?
It looks like blood.
It does. I don't think it is, though. But it must be, right? It's dead animal flesh. And I don't want it leaking into my baked potato, my loaded baked potato. Do you like baked potatoes, Tenby? I'm fascinated by your eating habits.
Most potato-related things I like.
Baked potato, do you get it? You never get it loaded, though, right? Like you don't get butter, sour cream.
Based on like a butter, cheese.
Oh, you'll do a little cheese.
Maybe some bacon bits.
Oh, you'll do some bacon bits, will you?
Sometimes I make little green onions.
Wow, I didn't realize.
That's about the extent of it.
That's pretty good, though. That's like, you're kind of letting your hair down. Sorry about that. I shouldn't make a hair comparison. How were you so irresponsible that you lost your hair? Thomas Edison was granted 1,093 U.S. patents during his lifetime for inventions.
It's a lot.
Electric light and power, including the practical incandescent light bulb. Phonographs and sound, the first machine to record and play back sound. Telegraphy and telephony. There's a joke there somewhere. I just couldn't think of it quick enough. Improvements like the universal stock ticker.
When you're giving advice to Rosen, it's a telephony.
It's very good. Have you heard the, Rosen won the open thing by taking Wendell. Did he really call him Wendell?
He said Wendell, and then you said Wyndham, and then he corrected himself.
So here's
I think I can find the audio because the power trip put it in the system.
Well, did you hear the conspiracy theory that they have? He'd never heard of Wyndham Clark before, and he was never going to select him. But apparently Cove won a big chunk of change, apparently, betting on Wyndham Clark in a sports book.
Yes.
Right? But then he wanted to spread it around a little bit, so he didn't take Wyndham Clark in the power trip thing. He took somebody else.
Yeah.
Then he was talking with Gorg about how he was thinking of Wyndham Clark. And then Gorg started extolling the virtues of Wyndham Clark and how he's been on a heater, right? And Rosen always prints out the Vegas odds to look at, and Wyndham Clark's never on him. So there's no reason for him to take Wyndham Clark. And this isn't against the rules. It's not like if someone brings it up in conversation, can't take him. It's actually, I would think, smart on Rosen's part. But Rosen will deny that. I've been following Wyndham Clark. But that's what he did. He heard the name Wyndham Clark in the conversation in the room, and then he selected him.
Here was the conversation he had with you.
Okay.
The day you were talking about who he selected.
Yeah. Mark Rosen selected Arnold Palmer but that problem is Arnold has passed away, so I don't know how you're going to do there. Who did you get again?
Wyndham Clark.
Wyndham Clark.
Wyndham Clark. Yeah, he hasn't teed off yet.
Wendell Clark. He had never heard of him.
I always loved that one.
Had never heard of him before. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Improvements like the universal stock ticker and carbon microphone, which we have one. We have a new microphone, Teneby, thanks to you. You kept hearing.
I still feel like I'm hearing some of it.
You hear voices too, don't you?
It might be that windscreen.
Yeah, it could be. Where's my... Hold on, give me 1 second. Can you hit the music? I have disorganized show prep. Is it unorganized or disorganized? Enemy, which do you?
Both.
Yeah. I thought I wrote it on that piece of paper, but I didn't. We have a different style of microphone. It's from the same family, but it's a different one. This is less expensive than the one. But engineering guy thought, well, maybe this one, there would be less of that. It's almost like an echoey kind of thing.
Yeah, I kind of said like reverb.
Yeah, like you're talking in an echo chamber. Do you still hear it? Because I don't anymore.
Like when you went to do the Metallica thing and you get up close to it,
okay.
It definitely has that reverb.
Thomas Edison invented the alkaline storage battery. He also invented the motion picture, early cameras, and the kinetoscope. He wasn't the only guy that invented stuff. How about... How many inventions did Ben Franklin? Ben Franklin did not invent a specific countable number of items, as many of his creations were practical, everyday solutions. He simply devised as needed. However, he is historically credited with creating at least 8 major inventions and practical innovations. Swim fins in 1717. Invented at just 11 years old, these were early oval-shaped wooden paddles designed to attach to the hands and feet to help swimmers move faster. It took a while. The first ones he made were made out of petrified wood, and then, of course, sank right to the bottom of the pond or the swimming pool, so that didn't work. He also invented the lightning rod, designed to protect buildings from catching fire during lightning strikes by safely grounding electrical charges. He invented the Franklin stove. Amazing that he invented a stove that had the same name as he had. Isn't that weird? A cast iron furnace that provided more heat and significantly less smoke than traditional fireplaces. He created in 1784 bifocals. Created because Franklin was tired of switching between 2 pairs of spectacles. He sliced distance and reading lenses in half and combined them into one frame. It's like mounds. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. He invented the bifocal. He also invented the glass harmonica, not harmonica, harmonica, in 1762. A musical instrument made of spinning glass bowls that he considered to be his favorite invention. That's the one he liked. Flexible urinary catheter. And flexibility is the key word. No! Designed specifically to help his brother John, who was suffering from kidney stones. The long arm reacher, a mechanical grabbing hook extension arm created to help him reach books on higher shelves without needing a ladder. I just take a broom handle and reach up on the shelf and pull it down that way. I had to do that today. I dropped yesterday. So my white tennis shoes got all muddy out at Hazelton. I was washing them in the wash tub, and I set the scrub brush right next to it, and it fell behind the washing machine. No! Invented by the Culligan man, washing machine. Or no, Maytag man. Maytag invented the washer.
Well, occasionally, especially with kids, we'll have things that get, like, that'll roll under the refrigerator. Yes. It's like, do we really want to... Is that worth it to move this refrigerator out and put it back?
Yeah. I'm always afraid if I pull the refrigerator off, I'm going to snap some kind of a tube or something like that. Because you can roll on that, but you got to be careful. The carriage odometer, in the late 1700s, he did not invent the odometer, but he redesigned and attached one to his horse-drawn carriage to measure distances and plot more efficient postal delivery routes. This is a guy that had a lot of time on his hands.
I sure feel unproductive after listening to their two resumes.
I've invented nothing. Except a really bad radio segment. Trying to get to, we're learning something here. But the reason I brought all this up, Tenneby, I always thought the best invention was fire, but that's a discovery. So then I thought, well, it's got to be the wheel, right?
Yeah, wheel is pretty important.
Oh, it's really important because like before, if you were Og and Grog, you had to drag stuff to the cave. Then eventually they said, no, wait a minute. No, it's got to be an easier way to do this. And they invented the wheel, then a little carrot, a little basket on the back, and you could just roll whatever it was into your cave. It was a wonderful invention. The washing machine, because, back in the day you had to, first of all, if you didn't live near a river or a stream or a creek, do you say creek or crick?
I'm a creek guy.
I'm a crick guy. If you didn't, I'm a crook too. No, I'm not a crook. You had to, if you didn't live near one, you had to, for miles, you would have to drag your clothes down to the river and beat them upon the rocks. That's how you used to clean your clothes back. Then they came up with the washboard, which also turned into a musical instrument. Ben Franklin turned it into a musical instrument. But I think the greatest invention at all, we have one here in the building, is the little splash guard that goes in the urinal in the men's restroom. And who invented that? You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. And there are some really effective ones out there. Some don't work at all.
And that's disgusting.
But I'll tell you what.
Floors are disgusting.
There's not just, it's not even so much the floors, it's just if it's splashing back up at you and it gets on your pants and you're just, then you get this, these wet spots all over. Then you got to go over to the hand dryer and kind of turn it on and angle it down to dry your pants, right? Cheap way to get a thrill, but... Who invented that? You know what the worst is? Have you ever seen these at some of these old steakhouses where they have the urinal that's built into the floor? It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Who thought that was a good idea? So actually the urinal is all the way down to the floor. You've seen those, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Because then you can't help. It's all over your shoes. You got to stand with that. You got to actually stand like this with your feet spread wide apart.
Like you're doing the splits.
Like you're doing the splits in order not to splash all over your, especially if you've got, like some blue suede shoes. Well, if you mix, they become green suede because if you blend yellow and blue, it turns into green. I wonder who invented that thing. Who invented urinal how about just who invented urinals? Andrew Rankin, 1866. However, the concept of a standing receptacle for urine is much older, with rudimentary models dating back to ancient Rome in the 19th century. The hell? Who invented urinal splash guards? Richard Ludke. He patented the anti-splash mat in the 1990s. Throughout history, the concept of splash guard has taken many forms. 19th century urine deflectors. In the 1800s, European cities often placed angled metal plates on building corners. They acted as crude deflectors that caused urine to splash back onto offenders' shoes, deterring public urination. So these were done on purpose. They wanted it to splash back at you so that you wouldn't relieve yourself outside next to a building. But if you got to go, you got to go. So anyway, so Deuce decided he's going to go to Kansas City to go to a World Cup game.
Yes.
He's leaving after work today. He's going to watch the Netherlands and Tunisia. And, we talked about who you would root for. And I think, the Netherlands, I found out, somebody texted me yesterday that the Netherlands has finished like runner-up 2 or 3 times. They're like the soccer version of the Minnesota Vikings or the Buffalo Bills. They've gotten to the big game, but they've never been able to win a World Cup. So that, when you're thinking Netherlands against Tunisia, Netherlands is highly regarded, that you would think, well, I'm going to root for Tunisia. But then, for me, it'd be like, now I don't know when these runner-up finishes happen for the Netherlands. Like, in other words, are there any members of the Netherlands soccer team right now that were among those teams that lost in the championship game? I don't know. But then, my heart kind of goes out to the country of the Netherlands to get, they've been the bridesmaid 3 different times. So it almost feels like you want to root for them. And Deuce is going to do that, and he's going to, he's going to rube it up with the costume. He's going to dress up like the old Dutch potato chip windmill is what he decided to do, which I don't know how the hell he's going to pull that off. That's what he's going to do, and he's going to wear clogs and the whole thing. Common, this segment was even bad for you. You really peed this one away. Well, there's that. Then someone wants to know who invented the scrotum elevator. Whoever invented rolled up socks, white athletic socks, because that's what I have to do. So Deuce is on his way, and I like his attitude. Is he likes soccer? He might not ever get to see a World Cup soccer game again. How many times has the U.S. hosted? It's only a handful of times, right? It's not like the U.S. Open or the Open Championship in golf, where like, well, there's a rota, and there's 6 courses, and so it just rotates. It's like, I don't know how many times the United States hosts that. I don't think very often. So, I'm
not a big soccer fan, but I don't recall it happening in my lifetime.
Yeah, for me either. So, I'm not sure.
And what day do those two play?
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Yeah.
So he's working remote tomorrow. There is someone wants to know, what sport is this? Well, we weren't talking about a sport in this instance. We weren't. But there are a lot of people that are weighing in on this very, very controversial topic, including this one says for best inventions, a belt. Someone said, Common, I think you invented lazy radio. And I did. Lazy radio. Here's another one that says the tarp shooter was a great invention. And that was you were an inventor, Timothy.
Right in line with Thomas Edison and Ben Franklin.
You invented the tarp shooter. Here's another one. This says, before the wheel, you had to just go out and sit in your car. You couldn't steer it. You couldn't roll it. There was nothing you could do. So, he also invented the kite with a